Hey guys, Double Diamond Railroad back. Been going crazy here yesterday afternoon, evening, clear up till about 11 o'clock and then till 2:15 in the morning until my internet dropped down off Spectrum, shut down all night. But I was able to glean info right before that happened. And that's all. I was going crazy here. Had a big short. It's all happening as soon as you flip this back switch, lead switch, reverse throw on it, because these are power routing. I couldn't override it no matter what I did. Got these gaps in on the wires that go to the selector on the closest side. So there was a gap there. Well, it turns out some basic rules on Pecos and other switches. Always feed the power from the the point side. Put the power to the point side, which I had two leads there. Common's in the back, the red's in the back, the white's in the front. But the problem was when I dropped all these feeders and tied to my selector switch, then like down here beyond the switch, in the middle, there's power both sides. The problem is it's a frog. You come back in and you cannot have power leads back feeding into the frog, it shorts. So you have to cut gaps on both frog rails. So I thought, oh boy, I got to cut about 8 more gaps. Nope, only had to do 4 because you've got a gap down in there on that frog rail, on that track right there, track 4. So then I just had to come in, figure out, route through all the way with my finger, just check where it is. So I had to break the, you see there's a red common. Sorry about the light, I can't get it to stop doing that. That's where I'm at back here. You see the red common down there by the jumper clip, right there. So I had to break this before it goes into the frog of that switch. So you kind of start back here at the back to my right and work out toward the front. So then we come down here, there's a common feeder, and there I cut the gap in. As soon as I did that, problem solved, even before I put the plastic in. So what would happen, as soon as I threw the switch out here, I had a short because I was jumpering the common from there over to this side, and it would just knock everything down. And I was scratching my head like, what is going on? I couldn't get the, override the power routing was the problem. So doing it this way, yes you do. They don't route anymore. They might be routing, but it's going everywhere. Every track is live because my feeders are everywhere. So they become, the routing and switch becomes irrelevant. So what I did here was right now testing where I had good common off the main, the red one, brought it down past 2 gaps right there, the white tabs to there, and I can feed this whole track down there because I don't need a gap there because I have one on the inside of frog, and I came clear back way back here, and there was already a gap on the inside down in there. So I had to put another one out there because if you follow that up, it goes into the frog there. So I had to break it out here where it's easy to cut in. Did it beside the other one. Then on this row, you see how I cut to the frog. So right there, everyone is insulated. That's all it took. 4 new cuts, and it works. I jumper now, I can jumper the common down because they're not hooked up to there, and I get power all back in here and move it down past the gaps. You can power each track individually, and I tested across every configuration I had the jumpers in. I tested across every track, both rails. For a short, there wasn't any, and then I checked for good continuity through all of them, and it was. Fired the engine up. I can throw the switches back and forth, every one of them. Try one step at a time, throw them each direction. Go down the line, no effect. So that's good. Now there's one other thing I'd like to do, a mod that I found. And that is you go under the switch. I had to take them out, slip the joiners, which I could do, it'd be a lot of work. I'm gonna try it without for now. But going forward it might be good. Go under the pull the joiner, slip it, lift the switch out, flip it over, and right there, go from the outside rail to the inner closer rail on both sides. so that they're wired hot all the time. And you're not dependent on the points back there to bring power into that. So you're getting power shoving it back to the points. So that's a mod I might do, strap those over. And they show it on this document right here. Now I gotta really try to get it. You can see the bus lines down there, how they route to the outer rails. So I'd done that. Then the problem was in this middle thing where it had them jumpers underneath. Left it alone, but right there it says option 1. And that's where you jumper the rails across. Option 2 is do it across the point pivots in case of wear later. But I think if you do option 1, you're good. You're covered good. We're not power routing anyway. So I can see though that point of wear out and start breaking connectivity. You might have a dead point or something. But you shouldn't, because you'd be touching the side rail. It should get powered there or from up at its pivot end. I mean, that's the only break point there could be, but since you're powering the closer rail and the outer rail, it should be able to always be powered. So we solved that. Now you can see the big document I found. That's Peco's picture, I guess. So I thought the power rails, the point rails were power routing. That was giving me the trouble. And then you can see white is not energized in that position. That's why you get a dead track then when you flip it opposite. Throw it to the one side back there and it's hot, and then this front one's dead, or vice versa. So there they show insulated rail joiners in the 2 frog rails, or cut gaps. Shorts at the junction of the point. Well, I'll tell you what. Possible shorts, baloney. It was instant short, big one. So we fixed that by putting these gaps in. Don't have any unsightly rail joiners. So I wanted to give an update. There we are. We got it. Now I'm letting the CA dry. Super glue dry. My wife is getting some super glue gel. Make it a little easier for this kind of stuff. So let all that dry, trim them down, it'll be good. Then we're going to, this evening, we'll wire up all the reds underneath, join them all together, and should be in business. The mystery is solved. I wasn't the only one. I read a bunch of people out there saying, what in the world is going on? Everybody trying to do the same thing I was doing. There's like 4 or 5 guys on this one thread I found from Model Railroader, all the same thing. And finally this one guy come in, told what to do. So we got it. Much relief. This only took me like an hour and 15 minutes to get this all cut out and tested, and I put the inserts in. So very relieved. It's been a lot of work, a lot of brain scrambling. Now we know what to do, know what. The other side of the yard I stripped, I really didn't need to, but I am reverse polarity over there because I was trying to get around this problem. So I got to put all that back. So we get this working perfect, then we'll do that. My concern right now with the switches is, I think, maybe this one or this one, and definitely this one. Engine was stalling and they're coming off of that lead right into there. And I could flex the edge of the switch out here and it would go. So that's where the strapping underneath would really take care of that, I think. But I'll wait till I get all my feeders on. I have voltage on all sides. I even discovered that on this track 5 passing siding, I had only 2 lights on my meter instead of 3, red, green, yellow. Low voltage. I thought, aha, that Atlas switch up there is routing bad, not carrying through. So that's one I plan to take out anyway. So I jumpered a wire from this red wire right here. I jumpered it over there onto that rail because the common's there but not hooked up. It's way back here. As soon as I put this red jumper on over there from the good source out there, that light went full bright. They're all bright over here. So I got a bad feed there, a weak feed coming through the Atlas switch, through joiners and all that. So that's going to make a big difference there. I've had trouble on that siding before. Get the voltage up will be really good. The lights are really bright over here now with all this wiring. Hope to get Central Yard looking the same way. Okay, that's it. I'm going to take a coffee break. It's time. Past time. Past time for coffee break. Nice little light up there. Okay. Catch y'all later with good success report later, maybe this evening. Double Diamond Railroad out.